This is InFocus News. Hello, I'm David Gibbons. As Hurricane Ike hit Texas early Saturday morning, the 13th of September, the Adventist Development and Relief Agency, in partnership with Adventist Community Services, had $80,000 worth of blankets, hygiene kits, personal care kits and other essential items ready to go for families affected in the region. The latest emergency aid comes less than 2 weeks after ADRA provided $100,000 in assistance to residents in Louisiana, where Hurricane Gustav struck on August 30. Award-winning Australian singer and songwriter Delta Goodrem has returned to the music charts with her hit album Delta. And now Delta has added another string to her bow as the face of Sanitariums So-Good soy milk. The 23-year-old enjoys drinking Australia's favourite soy milk and says So-Good is a natural part of her healthy approach to eating and life. The 3-year partnership with Sanitarium, which is owned by the Seventh-day Adventist Church, will see Delta appear in television, print and online advertising and at in-store promotions for So-Good. And still in New Zealand, a local resident in Orewa, north of Auckland, New Zealand, wants to change her community into a blue zone. Ms Cutts, who is a member of the Orewa Seventh-day Adventist Church, has been a vegetarian for 46 years. On World Vegetarian Day, she will throw a banquet to share good food and fun with the community. I have Ms Cutts on the phone. Hello. Why do you want people in Orewa to enjoy vegetarian food?
Well, they're going to live a lot longer, healthier lives, and they'll be one of the longest living people groups in the world, because vegetarian diet really does what God promises, that it'll keep us healthy.
Thanks for taking my call. The Seventh-day Adventist Church worldwide encourages its members to lead a healthy lifestyle, which includes a vegetarian diet which contributes to longevity. A youth pastor who specialises in city youth ministry in London, England, has urged hundreds of Sydney Seventh-day Adventist young people to share their unique story with others. Speaking at the Adventist Youth Conference at the Maru Christian Centre, Currajong, New South Wales, Pastor Eddie Hippolyte shared his own conversion story. Hippolyte said that instead of pushing for conversions, Christians should share their own story because it is the best argument for the gospel.
Jesus found me when I was 17 and I was baptized, but then I left when I was 19, and then he found me again when I was 25. And my story is that I've been with him ever since. I'm in my 40s now, and he's blessed me in ways we don't even have time to really talk about here. But, you know, that is my story. My story is what Jesus has done for me.
Hippolyte is passionate about making the kingdom of God real to young people who live in cities like Sydney and London.
My main passion, I suppose, would be youth ministry. And youth ministry in the context of working in inner city areas, working with young people within those areas, creating churches.
Over the weekend, young people learned how to plan, develop and run an evangelistic series, how to prepare the key messages and to communicate the gospel. And in brief, 15 young people from the Auburn and Concord Adventist churches in Sydney, some of whom have never travelled overseas before, will spend 2 weeks in Tonga to help build an outdoor shelter for the local Adventist school. Last weekend, Seventh-day Adventists across South America passed out millions of pamphlets and magazines in an effort to reach 1/3 of the population with the message of the second coming of Jesus. And AdventCare Victoria, formerly known as Adventist Retirement Villages Victoria, was one of the 4 national finalists in the Information Technology in Aged Care Award in Melbourne. And finally, in this week's edition of Record, the Esperance Christian School was ranked 2nd in a recent 3-day music festival and competition. General Conference President Jan Paulsen called for forgiveness and reconciliation during his first visit to Kenya since violence erupted there in January. And the editor says that despite never learning any verses about God's concern for the poor as a child, he has now discovered that there are 2,103 such references in the Bible. And now you can watch the full half hour of InFocus online as well. Go to infocus.org.au. Thanks for watching. I'm David Gibbons.